Universalist Church in Naperville, Illinois. I am Kelly Trombley Freitag, a member of your Board of Trustees. We are glad you are here, whether you are present in the sanctuary this morning or watching it remotely. It is so good to be together. We welcome you to our church and invite you to get to know us better during and after the service. Today, as most Sundays, we worship as a multi-generational community. Before we begin, quietly take a moment to be aware of those of us sharing this space. Let us recognize the hearts of our whole community, from our eldest to our youngest, and all those in between. Let us embody the beauty of this all-church community, even when there are a few more wiggles, giggles, and chatter. If you feel a need to move to a quieter or less active space, feel free to do so. No harm, no foul. Let us remind ourselves to listen carefully and calm our minds. Begin by breathing peace and joy into this sacred space. You are surrounded by the love of this community. All and all ages are welcome. And we have a couple of extra announcements today. To lend a helping hand in one of the many ways we can assist those less fortunate at this time of year, the DUU Gooders Chalice Circle is gathering items for PADS guests. In the hallway between Creeves Hall and the sanctuary, you'll see the tree decorated with tags. Please take a tag or two, shop for the items noted on the tag, and place your donation under the tree by December 31st. Unwrapped, with the tag attached to help the PADS staff identify and deliver appropriate items to adults and children in need. Thank you in advance for your generosity. And the next announcement, calling all singers. We are looking for singers to join a pop-up family choir. You don't need to be part of the choir to join, though choir members are welcome to join. The word family here means a group of people anywhere between the ages of 5 to 100. We will have a short rehearsal on January 7th at 11:30 a.m. with a performance on the same day at 3 p.m. at the Naperville Interfaith Leaders Association Interfaith Prayer Service. Please contact Reverend Mandy for more information and to join. Now, if you are online, I invite you to greet each other through the chat, and if you are present here, I invite you to turn to someone you did not come with and greet them with a wave and a good morning.
Unitarian Universalism is a pluralistic faith. The members of our faith tradition espouse many different spiritual, religious, theological, and philosophical perspectives, but are bound together in covenant through the affirmation of our 7 principles.
In our pluralistic tradition, we honor the many perspectives in our faith community. In December, we will be honoring 3 specific traditions, Christmas, Hanukkah, and winter solstice. We recognize that while these traditions are not celebrated by all of us, they are important to many of us. Moreover, these traditions have much to teach all of us as we continue our journey of spiritual growth. In honoring the diversity of beliefs in this congregation, we find strength and unity.
Are you ready to light? Yeah. We light our chalice for the first source of our Unitarian Universalist tradition, direct experience of that transcending mystery and wonder affirmed in all cultures, which moves us to a renewal of the spirit and an openness to the forces which create and uphold life.
The practice of lighting the Advent wreath was begun in Germany by a Protestant minister working in a school. The children there would ask every day when Christmas would arrive, and thus the minister created the Advent wreath to mark the days until Christmas. He did this not only for the children to mark time, but to focus the children's minds and hearts on the true meaning of Christmas. This tradition, lighting an Advent wreath, became a regular practice in many households in Germany and beyond, and would become a regular part of Christian churches in the 1920s.
This first week of Advent, our first purple candle is lit for hope. The hope of God with us, the immanent divine present within each of us, does not have a guaranteed outcome or predetermined plan or promise of a happy ending. Hope cannot be imposed from on high. Hope cannot be commanded. The hope of God with us is courageous, risky, unfolding, indeterminate. The hope of God with us is collective, liberating us from deadly complacency. Hope is gestating in darkness. It comes unexpectedly. Hope invites our expectation and demands our participation. Prepare the way for hope with courage. May hope be birthed among, within, and through us this Advent. O come, Emmanuel.
Join us in a meditative prayer. We come to know you, Holy One, as wisdom incarnate, as flickering flame, as spirit of life, as hope, peace, joy, and love enfleshed. You come to us as the stranger and the strange. Often we do not recognize you. Often we turn away from your gifts and your demands. Yet you come to us in wilderness, in the impossible made possible, in silence and singing and sighs too deep for words. You abhor dominance, mastery, fear, and control. You are made known to us in vulnerability and courage, and divesting from the powers of empire. We come to you this Advent in need, with longing and pain, captive to fear, desiring a more just world, a more livable life for all of us. For the earth, for every living thing caught and held in this inescapable network of mutual interdependence, we call this one wild and precious life. We long for you, we long for healing, we long for liberation, we long for different systems and patterns of relating. Amen.
Thank you, Chris and Amelia. Welcome to this place of love, of communal flourishing. We enter this worship space to open our hearts, to expand our minds, and to see the sacred within each other. Come, let us worship together.
O come, Emmanuel.
Our reading this morning is Origin by Unitarian Universalist minister Lynn Unger. In the beginning, the world was a great big mess. Topsy-turvy, helter-skelter, the grandest celestial mishmash of time and space. Creation is the imposition of order, light from dark, day from night, water from air, and so on. Sometimes it works. Sometimes your carefully crafted plans tick down the rails of your decisions, running neatly on time. Sometimes not. Creation is a blessing. The careful construction of beauty and the delicate elucidation of truth is a blessing. Bending this malleable world toward justice and peace and your vision of what could be is a blessing. But the nature of the universe is chaos. Never forget where you came from.
Our vision of beloved community is rooted in the relationships we have with each other, our world, and creation. Each week, we offer the opportunity to share our joys and sorrows here aloud. And this week, I have only one. Over this past week, a shooting occurred in Vermont. 3 Palestinian college students were shot by a man that actually used to be part of the Syracuse Unitarian Universalist congregation. This is hard news in many different ways. Let us remember that violence only begets violence. It does not beget peace. May we hold the families of those who were shot in care, and may we hold the perpetrator in care as well. Even when the cares of the world weigh upon us, we find joy in the connection with each other, whether shared aloud or held silently in our hearts. Know that this community cares for one another, and we are here to support you in both your joy and your sorrow. Please join me for a moment of silent meditation.
It is time to gather. This morning we're going to make you think. You will think about the universe, about nature, and the environment. You're even going to think about you. I have a story to share, and it is titled, You Are Stardust by Ellen Kelsey, and the artwork is by So-Young Kim. You are stardust. Every tiny atom in your body came from a star that exploded long before you were born. You started life as a single cell. So did all of the other creatures on planet Earth. Like fish deep in the ocean, you called salt water home. You swam inside the salty sea of your mother's womb. Salt still flows through your veins, your sweat, your tears. The sea within you is as salty as the ocean. The water swirling in your glass once filled the puddles where dinosaurs drank. From ocean to sky to land and back again, the same water has been quenching thirsts for millions of years. You learn to speak the same way baby birds learn to sing, by chatting with your parents. Ma, 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 tweet, tweet, tweet. Be still, listen. Like you, the earth breathes. Your breath is alive with the promise of flowers. Each time you blow a kiss to the world, you spread pollen that might grow to a new plant. Inside your brain, electricity stronger than lightning powers your every thought. You sneeze with the force of a tornado. Wind rockets from your nose quicker than a cheetah sprints. You grow at night when your bones are resting, just like the sheep you count to help you sleep. You may sprout even taller in the spring and summer, just like the plants in your garden. Your hair falls like autumn leaves. You tend to shed the most hair in early autumn and save your thickest growth for the heart of winter. Your body constantly changes. New cells line your stomach every 3 days. You'll replace your skin 100 times by the time you turn 10. Just as forests grow new trees in place of old ones, you grow entirely new skeletons throughout your life. If you were a planet, you'd be a lot like Earth. Rainforests on land and algae in the oceans are the Earth's lungs. From your head to your toes, inside and out, billions of teeny tiny microorganisms live on planet you. You know how it feels to be a good friend, and so do other animals. Bats and sperm whales get their friends to babysit. Elephants remain best buddies for life. You, me, birds flying through the rainforest, we are all connected. We are all nature. We are all stardust. In this book, the author gives us many examples, based on current science, of how we are interconnected, not just with everything on Earth, but everything in the universe. So I leave you with this question to ponder. What do you think the last line of the book, "We are all stardust," means? Let's sing to the children.
Of what we've learned and what can be. Giving of our treasure is how we reciprocate the many gifts we are given by this community. Your contribution supports the programs and operations of this DuPage Unitarian Universalist Church. Giving is also how we live our values into the world. Each month we share our offerings with an organization nominated by the congregation and selected by our special offering team. During December, the special offering will benefit Bridge Communities, nominated by Ann Ariano. The mission of Bridge Communities is to transition families facing homelessness to self-sufficiency by working with partners to provide mentoring, housing, and supportive services. Their vision is a community where all families are healthy, financially stable, and living in affordable housing. Through the help of program partners and supporters, Bridge Communities provides free transitional housing to nearly 100 families facing homelessness in DuPage County every year. During the 2 years each family spends in the program, they can save money, learn budgeting skills, heal from trauma of homelessness, obtain better employment, and develop valuable life skills so they are able to maintain that stable housing once they graduate. For more information about Bridge Communities, please visit their website, bridgecommunities.org. This morning's offering to support the work of DuPage Unitarian Universalist Church and the Bridge Communities of DuPage County is given and received in a spirit of generosity and gratitude. Please remain seated, but join me in a responsive reading, which is number 530 in our hymnal, entitled Out of the Stars. I will say the part of the responsive reading in white. Please join all together in the section that is in gold. Out of the stars in their flight, out of the dust of eternity, here have we come. Stardust and sunlight mingling through time and through space. Out of the stars have we come, up from time. Out of the stars have we come. Time out of time before time, in the vastness of space, earth spun to orbit the sun. Earth with the thunder of mountains newborn, the boiling of seas. Earth warmed by sun, lit by sunlight. This is our home. Out of the stars we have come. Mystery hidden in mystery back through all time, mystery rising from rocks in the storm and the sea, out of the stars rising from rocks and the sea, kindled by sunlight on earth, arose life. Ponder this thing in your heart. Ponder with awe. Out of the sea to the land, out of the shallows came ferns. Out of the sea to the land, up from darkness to light, rising to walk and to fly, out of the sea trembled life. Ponder this thing in your heart, life up from sea, eyes to behold, throats to sing, mates to love. Life from the sea, warmed by sun, washed by rain. Life from within, giving birth, rose to love. This is the wonder of time. This is the marvel of space. Out of the stars swung the earth. Life upon earth rose to love. This is the marvel of life, rising to see and to know. Out of your heart cry wonder, sing that we live.
Please rise in body or spirit and join us in singing hymn number 11, O God of Stars and Sunlight.
It was not a particularly special evening. In fact, it had been a very normal day with 2 toddlers, work, and all the things that life includes. I was not thinking of grand things like life and love, of death and faith. In fact, after becoming a Unitarian Universalist less than 2 years before that very ordinary evening, I had simply decided that people mattered and I wasn't going to think about the grander things in life. Faith, as the Hindu Sanskrit word shraddha states, is the resting place of the heart. That was not what I was thinking about on this very ordinary day. On that warm, end of summer, ordinary evening, I turned to Netflix to watch a documentary, a new documentary series at that time, many, many years ago, entitled The Universe. I'd been watching it over the previous days and weeks to learn something new, to let my mind go beyond toddler needs. Anyone know what that means? Mm-hmm. And to ignore the work tasks and everyday mundane things that life holds. I wanted to Netflix and chill. This day was not particularly special. The show was just as interesting as it ordinarily was. Yet out of that moment, a moment of ordinariness, my life was transformed. Qi is the Taoist concept of the energy of the universe. It is used to describe both physical and non-physical energy and material of the universe. Qi energy is on a binary spectrum with yin, or female energy at one end, and yang, or male energy at the other. Now, I want to note that while Taoism describes all aspects of life in binaries, it's actually more queer than binary, because all of those binaries are on spectrums that includes elements of each other. So it's far less binary than we assume. You see, those opposites are in a complex dance of returning to one another, continuously moving from one end to the other, balancing each other, all while retaining a peace within each other. This sort of dance is represented by the yin and yang. The black seed within the white space and the white seed within the black space, returning in the cycle and yet always retaining an element of the other within oneself. This dance of return is what Taoists call the way. And at its root, the way, though not truly describable through language, might best be described as the constant change of life, of the universe. It is the ebb and flow of destruction and reconstruction of life and everything around us. The way is pure chaos of destruction and the pure chaos of creativity. Life and death and rebirth in a chaotic ballet of force. Nothing is ever truly destroyed, for all new things are made of elements of the old, but nothing is ever kept forever because it all must one day be returned. The chaos of the way teaches us that everything is temporary. We cannot hold on to anything forever. Yet it also teaches us that what we lose is made into something new and in profoundly creative and infinitely possible new combinations and adaptations. The philosophical implications of this for Taoists are how we hold change, moving with it rather than fighting against it. That is, for Taoists, we look at the chasm of chaos and hold stalwart in the face of the churning dance, for it will not always stay chaos. You see, the sin, if it exists within Taoism, is when one attempts to hold on to or control any one element of life, especially if those elements are related to the masculine side, the yang, elements like domination, wealth, manipulative knowledge, technology, violence, moral perfection. Now I'll pause for a moment because someone's going to ask me, why not the feminine side? The feminine side of those masculine traits also have faults and would be considered sin if the attempt were made to control and maintain them too. But they're far less destructive. After all, what's the opposite of dominance, right? The sin of control is unique to humans because it's part of our ability to reason, at least within Taoism. That's the explanation. And we humans love to control things, to put things in boxes, to organize and categorize. And it can be helpful, yes. But we also know that most things in life defy those boxes. The sin is not only the trait itself that one is trying to glorify and attempting to create as a universal truth forever unchangeable, but it's the act of control itself. A Taoist responsibility is not control, but to find the pattern of change and to balance it so that the extremes are always in harmony. That balance is maintained through awareness of self and all that is around oneself in the bigger picture by tuning into the way. Taoists remove themselves to the balcony of life, if you will, and gently harmonize the dancing forces through non-coercion into the best adaptations of recreation, letting things die when it is time, and recreating the new and the endless possibilities of creative rebirth. Now, if you're someone with a scientific persuasion, I bet you can see some of the overlaps here with science, scientific principles. And if you're a religious person, then you might see some overlaps with religious principles as well. You don't have to use Taoist language to understand that change is fundamental to our universe. As a Unitarian Universalist, this Taoist philosophy is actually undergirding all of my interpretations of the UU 7 principles. We find ourselves in times of chaos. That's not new. It's always been chaotic. Chaos is the primordial soup of change, the basic element of life. It differs, though, today in that it has become extraordinarily out of balance. The scales of balance are dominated by fear and skewed toward violence, control, and dominance. Our natural inclination is to try to control this dynamic, control the chaos, to force a return to balance. We do this by categorizing and ordering our world, even when that's not possible, drawing sides when they're not actually clear. We do this by attempting to simplify that which cannot be simplified, conflating police with safety or poverty with laziness. To wade through chaos, to see the patterns, we must return to the balcony. We must wade in the waters of nuance. The chaos of the way is returning to balance, not forcing it. Yes, but it is returning not by going backwards, but by going forwards. Always a circle forward for return. In the yin and yang, the direction of the flow doesn't change, and yet things return again and again. It's cyclical. It's our responsibility to see the threads of the pattern as it returns into something new. Yes, let me repeat that. Returns into something new. This does not mean that we let the forces of dominance have their day. Quite the opposite. We hold strong the threads of the pattern that we might return to balance in a new way of being. So the question becomes, what are the threads of balance in the pattern, and how do I hold them? That night, many years ago, the very, very ordinary night, as I sat on my sofa watching the universe, Neil deGrasse Tyson, the astrophysicist, spoke to me with these words.
What is the most
Times I hear that, I still get goosebumps. The threads of balance and the chasm of chaos are the connection we hold within, between each other despite the chaos, through the chaos, and as the chaos transforms us into something new. In the same way, atoms are cooked into the heart of stars to become the elements within our bodies, changing and transforming, so too are we always in flux while holding true to the sacred we find within one another. Even though our connections are transformed and changed, because change is always there, as we pass through life and into death, they remain as the patterns that feed our flourishing. When I face the abyss of chaos, when I see the swirling mass of unknown before me, it is not fear that I encounter, it is the endless possibilities for life. For I know I will be transformed if I hold on to that connection, those threads from me to you. We were made in the explosions and fires of creation. We come from the stars. We are part of the chaos and its endless cycle of regeneration. The awe I find in this mystery of chaos is that which sustains me as I stand at its abyss. For I know that you are connected to me in this dance, and together we can embrace the creative chaos of possibility to bring the balance of justice to our world.
Please rise again in body or spirit and join us in singing hymn number 1029, Love Knocks and Waits for Us to Hear.
I can't imagine a greater fact that is so linked to a great philosophy that within each of us, our stardust is stardust. And that through that connection, through that link, we find the sacred within each other. May you go forth seeking out the connection of stardust within each of us. May it be so.
Please rise and join me in the words as we extinguish our chalice. We extinguish the light of this chalice, but not the light in our hearts. Until we meet again, may the warmth of our community carry you.